Hey there every sim lovers, can you let me know in the comments what is your favorite game in this genre? While I'm waiting for your comments, I would like to show you a game I'm sure you missed. Of course I'm talking about Foundation. Currently being developed and self-published by Polymorph Games. Foundation touts itself as a gridless, sprawling medieval city building simulation with a heavy focus on organic development, monument construction, and resource management. Having launched on Steam Early Access back in February 2019, it's interesting to think the game is still in alpha over a year later, but after loading the first scenario, it's pretty clear that the team and a whole slew of volunteers have shot Foundation with love and attention. Even in alpha, Foundation is entirely playable and incredibly enjoyable. Foundation's premise is something anyone who romances the medieval period will be excited about. Players take control of a lord who has just been given a land grant by the king. Of course, with the land grant comes some expectations, such as building out a sprawling self-sustaining settlement. Can you manage your production chains to increase your village's desirability, promote your serfs to citizens, make intelligent trade agreement to boost your economy, and answer the king's call when he needs an army or other aid? The landscape is yours to mold. Controls in Foundation are extremely straightforward. If you've played even one city builder, you already know what to do. The UI is its own triumph, as managing all these moving parts was made seamless with easy to grasp menu-based gameplay. Also, there were times when I had trouble. It was never something I couldn't figure out on my own or with the help of the question button down in the left hand corner. Anytime I ran into a situation where I was stumped, I could find all the info I needed in game, which is the mark of a great game dev. There are a fair number of standouts in Foundation when it comes to design, one in particular being the zoning feature. When your settlers first arrive, the tutorial prompts you to build things like lumber camps and stonecutters' huts, but the villagers won't actually be able to do anything until you specify land that can be used for resources. By painting out areas, you can let your villagers know they'll need to clear trees in certain spots and build homes in other, while keeping off the grass entirely in forbidden areas. Later on, you'll be able to mark hunting and reforestation grounds as well. As time went on, I found myself asking the woodcutters to keep a few trees here and there or leave the trees around churches alone. And I found this level of control to add a unique layer to the genre that I hadn't seen before. Speaking of zoning, in Foundation, once the zones are set, your villagers will literally go to town. While it's up to you to place key structures like granaries and bakeries, your villagers will pound the ground until a path appears and build houses in the most desirable areas, preferring to be closer to churches and markets. Want to encourage growth in a particular area? Hit them with a sheep statue. Settlers love shit statues. I also plunked down an iron mine, so we have our own ore now. With a bit of finishing the supply line, I'll only have to buy in coil to make tools, rather than the finished tools themselves, which will really cut down on my costs. And the UI and menus are so much better and user-friendly than they were at the start, and those things like war and resource management are harder than they used to be. They're still sort of optional. I can send soldiers to help with the fight in other lands, but I don't have people invading my borders. I can keep my town small and perfectly formed if I want. It's still just lovely and relaxing and natural, like watching a behavior that I'm in control of. In this case, there are a couple of taxation bees going around shaking down everyone else for pollen, but such is the circle of living in a society. I can only hope that version 1.6 doesn't bring any kind of virology model, because then my town is fucked. I have to say though, that's my favorite favorite part of version 1.5 is that now when you've stockpiled a resource, it gets a little warning sign next to it, which I presume is entirely my fault. To sum it up, Foundation is one of those games that worth your time after hard working day. I will be glad to hear how is your experience with it. Like and comment so I can see you in the next video.